WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Of course, our weather team has been following a system here all afternoon long, and we are getting in some reports from across the area, so we will bring those to you as they come into our newsroom. We do want to get you caught up on some other things we've been covering today, and we've been hearing a lot about these thunderstorms, tornado watches, tornado warnings. In fact, they seem to be almost weekly this time of year. For many people, they are an annoyance, but for others, they bring up some really strong emotions. When your house and your family have been in the path, even of the threat of severe weather, it can cause anxiety, fear, and yes, even fatigue. Our Jory Talley has more on that.
I was just scared to death. I was afraid for my family. I was afraid for me because I was at the house. I just got in my closet and covered up. I was crying. I didn't know what to do. It's scary.
Lifelong Hamilton native Deborah Lawrence says hearing or thinking about severe weather is even scarier now since an EF2 twister tore through her hometown 5 days ago. The threat of another line of storms has her prepared to go to the community storm shelter.
Same thing fixing to happen. We just pray we get spared this time.
Tornado fatigue is something Reverend Hubert Yates sees time and time again. Back in April of 2014, he experienced it firsthand when Winston County got rocked by an EF4 tornado. He played a big role in helping create the community group Winston Strong, and now helps communities across the state when they're struck with disaster.
We still have individuals in Winston County that when the weather gets bad, the anxiety level gets up, the fears begin to arise. Again, though, making plans, making preparations can alleviate a lot of that, knowing what you're going to do.
And Mary Frances Wilson says leaning on someone bigger than yourself will also help when it comes to weathering the storms.
It brings back some memories. I really don't, because I know that, God is in control and he's going to handle it, whatever it is. I hope we do not go through another one, but if we do, he's going to take care of it.
Wilson's home was demolished in the Winston County tornado. It was also the first of 350 homes to be rebuilt. She says she hopes to never go through it again, but has advice for those in Hamilton who currently are.
Listen to others that can give you some leadership advice, and lean on the Lord and he'll take care of it. You'll be fine. It doesn't seem like it, but now, or did not seem like it that day, but he will. He'll walk you through and he'll take care of it.
That was our Jory Talley reporting. Reverend Yates says he's seeing a huge community response in Hamilton, friends and neighbors all helping each other, which you'll see here. The Hamilton community continues to help each other. 5 days after the tornado hit, donations and volunteers have been pouring into the distribution and donation center. The Salvation Army also playing a big role in recovery efforts. It's helping staff the distribution center get supplies to storm victims. Lieutenant Christian Smith says although a lot has been donated, they still need a lot more.
The biggest things we need, honestly, are cleaning supplies, and if people are willing to donate monetarily, because we eventually need to start helping people replace some of the stuff that they lost, so we're going to need some money to help those people out.
The Hamilton Tornado Relief Fund has been set up for monetary donations. You can send them to Post Office Box 336, Hamilton, Mississippi. A look now at some other news we're following. Supervisors in another northeast Mississippi county looking at the possibility of banning kratom. While some say the herbal product is dangerous and addictive, others claim it helps with chronic pain and anxiety. WCBI's Allie Martin has more.
For Patrick Suddeth, living with constant pain from a back injury and cluster headaches was a way of life.
I have been on almost every medication for headaches that a doctor can prescribe me, besides something that, of course, would be like opiates.
But the Itawamba County resident says when he started using the Southeast Asian herb known as kratom, his pain was gone and he no longer had to use a walking cane. Suddeth orders his kratom online and brews it into a tea. However, kratom is available in convenience stores where it is sold in liquid or tablet form. Suddeth is aware that Lee County is considering a ban on kratom and believes a little education will go a long way.
I believe that all that they really have to do is look into the facts and speak to people who use it, learn a little bit more about what it is they're banning before they give in to sensationalized media concerning kratom.
Kratom is not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration and has never been approved for medical use. The FDA did issue an advisory about kratom 2 years ago. That advisory warned that kratom had the potential for abuse and could be addictive. Lee County Sheriff Jim Johnson says there are enough valid concerns about kratom because it is unregulated and widely available.
When a parent comes in here and says, hey, you need to go down to the store, my son or daughter has bought something down here at XYZ store, and they're hallucinating, they went into a coma, they've done everything, then I, as a public safety official, have to step up to see. I'm just asking that this stuff be monitored.
Sheriff Johnson doesn't dispute that kratom can be used to help alleviate chronic pain, but he also believes safeguards need to be in place.
What I have read, there definitely needs to be some attention given to it. So that's all I'm asking our board to do, is do what we can to protect our kids and our people here in our county.
Lee County supervisors are expected to set a public hearing on a proposed kratom ban. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
And kratom supporters are promising a strong presence at Lee County's public hearing on the issue. Coming up this fall, college students may be looking for extra credit and extra cash. The cost of higher education is getting higher. We add it up when we come back. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're going to begin right now with a look at our sky cam at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon, Alabama. This is a look at that weather system that's moving through. Of course, our weather team still here in the studio tracking this system. We're going to have a full forecast and an update on what's happening coming up in just a moment. First, though, the cost of higher education in Mississippi is going up. The College Board approving increases for Mississippi's 8 public universities. The tuition hike will be an average of 4%. That will put the average cost for a full year of school and mandatory fees, excluding other costs, at over $8,000. Universities will get 5.6% more state money next year, but that's still less than in 2016. Increases range from 8.4% at Mississippi University for women to 1.9% at Ole Miss. 58% of Mississippi students graduate with some debt. A Tupelo physician says a recent cycling trip made a lasting impact on his life. Dr. Mark Shepard was guest speaker for the monthly meeting of Mission, Mississippi. He recounted his journey along the Underground Railroad, the network of secret routes and safe houses used by African American slaves to escape into free states and Canada. Shepard says the experience showed him the importance of people working together. Bishop Clarence Parks, whose church sponsored the meeting, says it's vital for people to understand this era of history.
It just wasn't just a set area, but it was in different places where people was actually somewhat hidden, but yet it was an avenue for people to be free. Sometimes you're not careful, you end up repeating the bad things if you don't know your history.
Mission, Mississippi brings people together to build relationships across racial and denominational lines.
All right, there's another view at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon. Look at that wind whipping on through. Sadly, some of the wind in the storm, we can see that there may be some wind speeds 60 to 70 miles per hour or more within this storm in Lamar County. Is quickly moving off to the east. We'll have an update on that, plus a look ahead at your Easter holiday weekend forecast next. Stay tuned.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
It's storming pretty good over here in Lamar County, Alabama. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. Right here, you can see a big mass of rain and wind. The strongest wind now moving through Crossville and Blooming Grove. I'm going to show you that with our shear rate. This basically shows you from areas east of Vernon, near Crossville, Kennedy right here. That is a line of very destructive potential wind moving into your area. So do expect to see a chance to lose some power and see some trees come on down as this activity races from west to east. This is a 15-minute lapse, and notice it is crossing now into Fayette County, Alabama, almost out of Lamar County right now. Behind it, we have no more severe weather. We have more rain, yes, but the severe weather threat is quickly diminishing from southwest to northeast, and this is going to be a 1-hour lapse. You can see how things are swirling from southwest to the northeast here. The driver of the severe weather has been this little area of rotation. We call this a little MCV, mesoscale convective complex, or vortice, that is moving to the northeast, and we just have some gusty breezes, some heavier rain behind it. So right now the storm is pulling out of Lamar County, and right now it looks like the worst of the weather is pulling away from our coverage area at this time too. So another view back in Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy. That's a live view. Things are improving a little bit. Notice the ponding on the waterway, or the roadway right there with all that water that we've had move on through. Let's start out with a little sky cam tour here. We'll go over to Tupelo, where you have had some heavier downpours. No severe weather up here, some thunder and lightning. Again, it is 6:38. We are extending our newscast here at 6 o'clock a little bit longer due to our weather coverage earlier this afternoon. Things really improving in Columbus after those nasty winds we had not too long ago. So that's our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. We still have a flash flood warning for parts of Lowndes, Oktibbeha, Clay counties here. That goes until 7:45. Look at this. Estimated by radar, 2 to 3 inches of rain. We've had some localized flooding issues. We've been showing you those during our coverage today. Also over on our Twitter and Facebook feeds too, with this system as it's been rolling on through. But the driver of the severe weather is now moving away. We'll see things taper off a little bit this evening. More showers possible later on tonight, and more tomorrow too, because we have some unsettled weather way out there across the high plains that will be coming on back. We had some upper 70s for highs today, currently in the low 60s and even some upper 50s out there. We'll take it down into the upper 40s to around 50 tonight. The storm's on the way out. Some showers will linger here. Winds will veer around to the northwest and stay with us tomorrow, about 10 to 25 with some higher gusts. Look at this. This is our Friday forecast. Showers, clouds, breezy conditions, temperatures for the most part in the 50s in the wake of this system. Some of you could actually be struggling to 50 degrees tomorrow afternoon, especially in the far north. So the rain is on the way out. We'll have a chance for a few showers tonight and tomorrow morning. Have the umbrella on standby on Friday. Scattered showers here. Nothing too terribly heavy, but there will be showers around. Clouds linger a little bit Saturday morning, so if you see some clouds early Saturday, don't freak out. We are expecting a lot of sunshine to develop as that system swirls away. Let's take this full screen, our Alpha Insurance or our AccuWeather 70 forecast. You can see where we're headed. 66, developing sun on Saturday. Very nice Easter Sunday, Andrea, back to around 78. Mostly sunny Monday and Tuesday, highs around 80.
All right. Another homecoming for one of the state's most electrifying players. Ole Miss gets another good one. The details next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Yet another homecoming for Ole Miss men's basketball. One day after West Point native Austin Crowley announces he'll be signing with Ole Miss, Oxford's native son is also coming back home. Former Oxford Chargers star Jarkel Joyner will transfer to Ole Miss with 2 years of eligibility remaining. Joyner transfers from Cal State Bakerfield after he scored 15.6 points per game on 45% shooting in his sophomore campaign. Joyner will have to sit next year due to transfer rules, but reports say he'll return in 2020 as a redshirt junior. The guard was lightly recruited out of the 2017 class after averaging 36.5 points per game in his senior season. Vic Schaefer says the number 88 won't get out of his head, 88 being the number of points Oregon scoring to defeat the Bulldogs of the Elite Eight. Schaefer also says you can count on one finger in which a team of his has lost, scoring 84 points. But the Ducks and the Dogs are no strangers to each other, meeting 4 times over the past 3 seasons. Schaefer says he ran into Oregon head coach Kelly Graves at the Wooden Award ceremony and is already working on the rematch.
I told Kelly when I shook his hand to leave that night, I said, let's play again. You know, let's start it up and play again. I want to play again. I want to play them again, you know. And so I got a text message from him yesterday, and so we've talked about trying to start it back up in, you know, in a year or two. 1 to 2 years just seems way too long for that rematch. But on the baseball side,
We'll see what the weather does over in the Plains for Auburn taking on Ole Miss. As of the mid-second inning, the Rebels able to put up 3 in the second to take a 4-1 lead over Auburn. It's been all Rebels in that series between Ole Miss and the Tigers. They've won 5 out of the last 6 matchups. Also, Mississippi State and Arkansas, the top 10 matchup between the Dogs and the Hogs, set for first pitch at 8 p.m. 1 game separating these two and about 3 others for the top spot in the SEC West. Mississippi State has won 9 of its past 10 ball games in Fayetteville when giving up 4 or fewer runs. That could be very possible with Ethan Small on the hill tonight. That game, 8 p.m. Make sure to grab your midnight snacks because that one could be going late into the night. Also, you missed it today, but it's because of the weather, but Ole Miss and Mississippi State softball set to square off tomorrow. Number 17 Rebels in town taking on Mississippi State. Doubleheader tomorrow. First pitch Friday at 1 p.m. That's game 1, and then 5 p.m. That's game 2, and then Saturday will be the series finale at 1 p.m. It's been all Ole Miss in that rivalry series on the softball side. The Rebels have won 6 of the past 10 matchups between the two. Coming up at 10, we'll have highlights of Ole Miss and Auburn baseball, as well as we'll keep you up to date on that Mississippi State-Arkansas game, but that might be a little bit past our bedtime as well. But that's us for sports. We'll last year forecast coming up after the break.
A local school is helping to rallying to help others thousands of miles away and here at home. Weeks of planning have led up to a challenge to feed the need. Riley Livingston brings us the story.
These students behind me are doing their part to put an end to world hunger, be it in their backyard or across the world. For students at Columbus Christian Academy, the last month has been a journey. Since March, they've been raising money to get supplies for their Feed the Need packing party. The process has been more than just feeding those in need, but also a learning experience.
They've learned about kids eating dirt cakes, which in Haiti, whenever they don't have something to eat, they will actually take dirt and mix it with water and maybe a little bit of rice, and they'll have dirt cookies or cakes. They've learned about how we can help feed the hungry and serve Christ in that mission.
The goal is to make 10,000 meals. Most will be shipped to Haiti, but some won't have to travel that far.
We wanted to not only feed those in Haiti and those that are around the world, but we wanted to make sure that we had food that stayed here in Lowndes County, because we know that there are people in need in Lowndes County, and so we're working through Helping Hands in order to be able to accomplish that.
Organizers want this event to serve as a starting point, not the finish line for these students.
I hope they've learned that, we're a lot more fortunate here than they are everywhere else in the world. And so, hopefully that they'll, take this and be mission focused and do things in life that mean something.
It was really fun, and I would want to do it again.
Organizers of today's event tells us that one of these boxes feeds one child for 1 year. Reporting at Columbus Christian Academy, Riley Livingston, WCBI News.
And Jeremy Brandry says they hope to host this event again next year. It's been a long afternoon.
It's been a busy afternoon. We still have some wind, but the worst of the weather now, Andrea, is shifting east of Lamar County. So our coverage area now in recovery mode as the severe weather threat is pulling away. So that is good news to report here. The severe weather threat basically done for our area. The rain will eventually taper off later tonight. Cool, nasty tomorrow, but the weekend still looking great. Sunny on Easter Sunday.
Looking for a great weekend.
Can't
Thanks
wait.
for all you've done today.
Been busy.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening.